helping him today because he's not picking up his wide receiver as fast as he should. He's taking too much time in there because he's waiting and waiting and waiting, and it just doesn't seem as if he's just not sharp today. He just hasn't thrown well.
What's interesting is they tend to Dennis Smith in the end zone. He seems to be indicating he's okay. We have had an injury-free football game, which is a rarity. The players have come in good shape. This is the first time that any trainers have been on the field all day. Is Dennis Smith, who, by the way, played for John Robinson at USC, has to gingerly walk off on the far side.
I saw them talking before the game. It was kind of fun to see Johnny Robinson's reaction to him when he came up and said, "Hi, Coach, how you doing?"
Right. Old coach. New coach is Dan Reeves. As you see John Robinson on the far side, Dan Reeves today is wearing a tie for the first time in his coaching career. I think that goes with the fact that he is now a vice president as well as a head coach.
Well, I thought he wore one when he played for Dallas. No, that was Tom Landry, wasn't it?
Dan Reeves now vice president. He says, well, now I can get fired from 2 jobs. 3rd and 6 at the 24. Both teams thoroughly ineffective today on 3rd down conversions. Ellard in motion. Looking for Ellard and broken up nicely by Tony Lilly, the second-year defensive back from Florida.
Well, you said broken up nicely. Tony Lilly should have intercepted that play, but there is a flag down on the field here. We're going to have to wait for a second to see what our referees decide.
Offside Broncos.
Ouch, that's going to make it 3rd down and about maybe 1 yard to go.
Now for an update. Let's go to Bob Costas at NFL 85.
Lenny, as the hour moves along, we'll check the divisional races in baseball, starting with the American League East. Toronto beat Minnesota.
Old Nuxie going for 300 next Friday night against Toronto. He's 46 years old. Dieter Brock, the oldest NFL rookie in history at 34, and gets another chance here thanks to the second Denver penalty in the drive. It's 3rd and 1. It's 19. White gets it. Earlier on a 3rd and 1 in tight. Dieter Brock on a quarterback sneak was stopped. Then White was stopped on the goal line stand. This time he makes it.
He made it, but he didn't make it by much, sir.
Well, here come the chains.
Well, I think he made it because I watched the referee and he marked it with his right foot. And anytime he marks with the right foot, he usually makes it. Now, see that you learn that when you play down in those pits.
Nose of the football gives Dieter Brock a 1st down at the Bronco 18. We have 11 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. Denver is leading Los Angeles 16-10. It has been a long afternoon for Dieter Brock, and yet he can still salvage something here.
Well, we saw John Elway come up with the big plays and got himself going, and Dieter Brock certainly can do it here.
Charles White. Good blocking, and White bangs down to the 11, a pickup of 7. Rick Dennison finally making the stop. Good offensive line play by that veteran Rams line. This is the line that did it for Eric Dickerson to set the record all last year. And look at this opening for Charles White.
A lot of strength and a lot of age in this line. They're all 8, 9, 10, 11-year veterans, so they played a lot of years together.
2nd and 3 for Brock at the 11. Charles White again. A flag is down as the blocking broke down that time. Steve Foley gets credit for the tackle.
This may be illegal motion.
Foley's still holding his knee on the turf.
Yeah, he
made the stop.
They fell down on top of Foley, and I think he did hurt his leg. But I think this could be an illegal motion on the Rams, which will set them back 5 yards.
Foley today moved into sole possession of 2nd place on the all-time active interception list. He picked off 2 this afternoon, which gives him 41. Donnie Shell, if he didn't make any interceptions today for Pittsburgh, is number 1 with 43.
Well, one of the important stats that all players keep.
Illegal motion, offensive line, not set, 1 second. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Well, there's the call, the illegal motion. Look at that score. That's getting out of hand, isn't it?
Further north here in Los Angeles, the Raiders leading there. The Rams trailing here. We'll be back to Anaheim in just a minute. Time, Len Berman with Dave Rose. 2nd and 8 at the 16 for Dieter Brock and the Rams. Looking for Ellard, and he couldn't hold on at the 8. And this will set up 3rd and 8. Steve Foley was helped off to the sideline. They're working on his knee. Has been replaced by Tony Lilly. No report yet on Foley.
He actually got fell on by a pile, so it shouldn't be a serious injury. It didn't look as if you don't get up and walk off the field with any type of a ligament damage or anything like that. And he did get up and walk pretty much under his own power, so I think it's just a sprain.
And the Broncos playing without Louis Wright, who was injured. So some holes in the secondary right now for Denver. 3rd and 8 at the 16. Brock looking for Tony Hunter, the former Buffalo Bill, and incompleting. And now we will see Mike Lansford try to cut the deficit to 3.
Well, the Denver defense again answers the call, but Brock had all the time in the world. Brock is just standing there. Let's hear and see if we can see a hold on Hunter. No, I don't believe it was. Look at the hands come back real fast. That's the old Ken Woodard just put his hands back. No, I didn't hold him.
Mike Lansford has already hit one from 37 yards away. And this one will be a 33-yard attempt. Bills to hold. And Lansford is 2 for 2. So with 9:31 remaining in the 4th quarter in Anaheim, the Broncos' lead has been sliced to 3. Report on Steve Foley in the Denver secondary. Knee injury. Dennis Smith, shoulder problems. He's taken his jersey off completely. Heading for the locker room. Louis Wright, dressed, isn't playing. 3 holes now of the 4 starting defensive backs for Denver. This is Gene Lang. And Lang is hit. And the emotion is suddenly switched here in Anaheim. The Rams trail by 3, but they've taken over the momentum. Norwood Van on the tackle.
But that last series has to be a big boost for Denver because they did hold them 3 points. They didn't allow them the touchdown. They held them.
Let's check out the baseball score. The 18 for John Elway. 2 crisp touchdown passes late in the first half. That's what gave Denver the lead. They haven't scored since. Steve Watson, who's had a terrific day, complete at the 40.
And boy, did John Elway take a shot in the back. He really got stuck. He threw that ball, and just as he got rid of it, he got stuck in the back.
A 22-yard pickup from Elway to his favorite receiver.
You can see Elway get stuck in the back. Of course, who do you go to when you need it and you're in trouble? You go back to Mr. Watson. They talk about his integrity, I should say his intensity, excuse me, and they talk about his concentration on the ball. He does not drop him, doesn't have that blazing speed, but boy, can he come back with a catch.
He's got integrity too. 7 catches today for 85 yards. First down now at the Bronco 40. Sammy Winder smothered, loss of 1. Mike Wiltshire on the tackle. If you weren't with us earlier, Jack Youngblood has retired from that defensive front 3 of the Rams. Charlie Dejournay is in for the holdout, Greg Meisner. Mike Wiltshire is playing for George Andrews, out for the year with an knee injury, so changes galore. And we've got a 3-point football game. 2nd and 11 at the 40. Jim Wright in motion. Elway looking for Watson and nearly intercepted by Gary Green, the former All-Pro from Kansas City. He thought he should have had it.
He certainly did. He came in front, stepped in front of him, and really, he should have had it. He really should have come down. See how he stepped in front? Right in front of Watson. He came around him. Again, not coming through the offensive receiver. You have to go around him, and you just can't, or else it's pass interference, of course.
Elway's touchdown passes today to Butch Johnson. 28-yarder and a 25-yarder to Clint Sampson. If you're wondering, Butch Johnson just handed the ball back to the official and put his arm around him. There was no touchdown dance today from Butch Johnson. 3rd and just over 10 from the 40. Shotgun.
was the better play by Vince Newsom, number 22. I think he really played that ball well. Let's see if we can watch Watson. We know he's going to go back to Watson. That's his true blue kind of ace in the hole. But watch Vinny Newsom right there. Got a hand out. Looks as if he touched it. I'll take another look at it. How about that? I think he touched it.
Really? Okay.
Oh, come on. Maybe George Finkel, our producer, will give us that a little bit later. There he goes. Thanks, George.
Does he touch it?
Okay.
All right.
Well, he got close.
Finkel votes with me. Watson might have dropped one. Good punt from Chris Norman, who has really struggled today for the Broncos. But it goes into the end zone nonetheless for a touchback, and the Rams will start at their 20. He booted it 60 yards away, but on a net, it'll be 40. When we come back, Rams ball, they're trailing by 3. In Anaheim, 7:38 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Broncos trying to hold on for a 3-point lead with 3 new defensive backs in the lineup. Roger Jackson, Tony Lilly, Daniel Hunter. 3 starters are out for various reasons, and can Dieter Brock take advantage of it? Dumps it off to Charles White. White fights for a first down.
That is the only thing. That's the only thing that's really been working for them today. As we look at the scores come up here, it's a short dump pass. But how about some of those games today? Look at that one.
We've noted the 2 Super Bowl teams both losing today, Miami and San Francisco. How would you have liked to have had a parlay on that? The Cardinals winning in overtime in Cleveland. Kansas City big over New Orleans. Pittsburgh big over the Colts. And now, first down at the 32. The pitch back to Charles White. And the former Heisman star across the 36 for a gain of 4.
I know we're going to flash up some more scores down here, so let's just take a quick look at them. There's Detroit over Atlanta. How about that? Walter Payton show, 38-28. There's a surprise, New England. They might have finally come around because Green Bay was touted to be a real division leader this year.
The Raiders continuing to do it to the Jets, the longest injured reserve list in football. San Diego continues to lead Buffalo. So, 2nd and 6 for the Rams at the 36. 6:25 remaining now. Charles White again. And a flag is down on the far side as White scrambles to the 41.
Len, before we get this call, I wanted to just bring up a point that I thought was really interesting when we were down there before the game. You talking to Charles White and him talking, saying how upset he was that he couldn't even sleep on Thursday evening. So that was quite a statement. He was nervous about this game. He realized that Redden had a severe injury to his ankle, didn't know if he could play, and he was just, as any young player would be, he was just upset. Couldn't sleep starting Thursday. Here's the call.
Illegal motion. Left side of the offensive line, not setting for 1 second. Repeat, 2nd down.
The second time that's happened today.
What causes that is that Brock's coming up to the line late, and he's going on first sound. He comes up the line, just goes, hut. They snap the ball, and it's off. And there's not giving his linemen enough time. Plus, there's a few of them that are a little bit slow, like Mr. Bain up there.
And Lynn Kane, the former Falcon, is now in the backfield in place of Charles White. This is 2nd and 11. And he dishes it off for Kane. He's not able to make Kane. Barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Ken Woodard making the stop as Dieter Brock just unable to go long today.
Well, the story of this game has been, as we said, Denver's defense. But it's been a lot their secondary. This secondary's got 3 players out there that did not start. And there's no one that's challenging. You see one player running into the deep pattern. Everybody is going short. I just feel that Dieter Brock needs to get his confidence back. He's got to go out there and attack them long. If he doesn't, Denver will give him that pass all day long. It's a 3-4 yard pass. It's bringing up 3rd down and 10 yards.
From the 32. One receiver fell down. Mike Gooman fights near the first down marker. I don't know that he got it. Mike Harden covering on the 4th side. The placement here will be critical.
Well, it's quite a reaction to the ball by Daniel Hunter. He really came up fast on the ball and made quite a tackle. You'll see here. Let's just take a peek and see if he makes it up to that red flag on your right. Oh, I don't know. I think he was out of bounds.
But the official ruled first down. They said he got across. So maybe the Rams catch a break. First down at their 43.
Well, way to go, Len. You can always go with the official because they're never wrong.
Charles White. And nothing this time. If you're wondering about Peter Brock's longest completion today, I know you read some of those articles about how he once threw a ball 93 yards on an off day. His longest completion today, just 26 yards. And we are inside of 5 minutes now.
That also counts the run, you know, Len. That's added on there. So
No. No, that was in the air.
Okay.
Let's give him some credit today. Denver leading at 16-13. John Robinson faced with a 2nd and 10 at the 42. 43 make it. And again he dumps it out to David Hill, the big tight end, and he rumbles across the 40 to the 35. They cannot drag him down. David Hill, who was just supposed to be a blocking back, is suddenly a hot tight end receiver today.
Well, Rulon Jones got to be upset. He just misses, and Brock has had the pressure today, but again, it's a dump pass out, and David Hill, it's really been the story for the Rams. He's the only person. You can see the, oh, heck, I just missed him by Rulon there, but David Hill has been really the offensive weapon for the Rams today. He made that circus catch for a touchdown, and now he makes this play here. He made a tremendous block on a Charles White run, so he's really been quite a story today.
22-yard reception for Hill. First down now for the Rams at the Bronco 35. Ellers. Another first down. This is the best Rams drive of the day. Working on Daniel Hunter.
Well, you said it. This is the best drive they've had all day. They've driven the ball now about 50 yards. So
They started on the 20, and they're now at the Bronco 23.
So it's been really the only sustained drive that they've had today.
And a rare completion to a wide receiver. We have speedsters Henry Ellard and the Olympian Ron Brown, but they've been underutilized today. He's completed 16 and had 2 intercepted, but a lot of them to backfield mates. White to the 19.
But having played against this Denver defense, I will say this. This is where Denver usually really comes out and plays hard. When they get backed up, as they did on that tremendous goal line stand where they stopped them. They had 3rd down and a foot to go, stopped them twice. Now here we are. They're faced with another serious threat. This is a defense that really answers the call of the offense. They really react well to the ball. But they're playing with 3 defensive secondary players that did not start the game.
They've traditionally been opportunistic. They're taking the ball away 3 times today. White struggles this time. Roger Jackson came up to greet him.
We talked about David Hill, number 81, blocking. Watch this block here. He's hooked his man inside. He's got Jim Ryan inside. Drives him down. He's playing a good football game for them.
Now the ball is marked at the 18.
Well, if Peter Brock holds up to what he's been doing, he's going to run a deep pattern and he's going to drop off to his backs.
And Luke Foley is back in, shaking off the knee problem. 3rd and 4. The Rams trail by 3. Charles White, and they do it conservatively as White reaches inside the 10.
Denver had a defensive mix-up here because Foley had to come all the way out. There's obviously a mix-up here. Well, look at that hole in the middle. Charles White just dances through there. Kind of reminds you of the days when he won the Heisman. He's been quite a story here today. He didn't start the first half, didn't play at all in the first half, came in late in the 3rd quarter, and he's already got 75 yards rushing.
They say in life that timing is everything, and the timing is perfect for Charles White, but not for the Jets today. The Raiders shut him out. 1st and goal at the 8. Here's White. White overall touchdown. A tip of the cap to Charles White, battling back from drug problems, from a broken leg. Comes to a team that has Eric Dickerson on the team. Dickerson holds out. White scores the lead touchdown.
Certainly, you have to tip your hat to that young man. He has really come out here and done a job. He had no idea that he was even going to play today. He had a thought late in the week with the injury to Barry Redden's ankle, and here he comes in with a tremendous run. Great leg strength exhibited on that run, and he puts them ahead, and boy, is this an important extra point.
Mike Lansford trying to make it a 4-point goal, and he doesn't. So that missed extra point early in the game by Rich Carlos looming larger and larger. As we have 2 minutes and 7 seconds remaining, Charles White has given the Rams a 20-16 lead.
Well, you have to be happy for Charles White because, as you said, he's been through so much. And he did have the courage to come forward in that drug problem, and I can't do anything except admire him. Of course, you know, you can't say enough about the courage that he has, but watch the leg strength that he exhibits on this run. It's kind of a run that's just like a wave. You can see Denver comes up and gets hit there, but look at the leg strength he exhibits. That's, as I said earlier, that's the difference between good running backs and great running backs. That's why he is going to be considered one of the great ones here if Dickerson continues to hold out.
The first sustained drive of the game for the Rams, 80 yards and 11 plays. They consumed 5.5 minutes. Touched off by the Charles White 8-yard touchdown run and a 20-16 Ram lead.
As Dan Reeves telling John Elway, it's up to you now. We need something.
So Mike Lansford gets ready to kick it away for the Rams. Vance Johnson, Gene Langer deep for the Broncos.